All right, it's 4 o'clock. We're gonna get started with this traffic board meeting. Before we get cracking, pursuant to open law meeting, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Before we get started, I'll introduce myself. Sergeant Louis Duarte, recently assigned as the Traffic Enforcement Unit Commander. I'll be filling in all the duties there under. Looking forward to this new position. Motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Motion passed. Oh, right. I'd ask that everyone bears with me, being my first time. I'm sure I'm going to go out of order at some point. Okay, first on, I'm sorry. Are there any persons here from the public that are here for?
Citizens input.
Thank you, that's what I'm looking for. Citizens input, anyone that is not on the
I know
on the agenda?
sometimes it just stops you when I'm on.
Yes. Name?
Tina Tess.
Come on up.
Hello.
This is my first time too, so I don't.
Good, we'll get through it together.
Okay, great. So my issue is with, I've spoken to someone at the traffic department, I'm not sure who, might have been one of you.
Me.
So it's with the Deaconess Homes in the Prospect and High Street area. A lot of issues going on there. So it's going on 26 years that I live right on the corner of Prospect and High Street. A lot of issues going on there, a lot of accidents right on that corner there. Not sure if that rings a bell, but for the last 10 years, they converted the house directly across the street from us. It used to be a two-family home, and they turned it into offices for the Deaconess Homes. And now, all the workers there, I don't know how many workers they have, but they took over the whole street. They park 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, all over Prospect Street and High Street, on both sides of the street.
They're working there?
They're working there. So all day, every day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, they take over the whole street. And now there's a total
Let me just, working to construction or working because they're employees there?
so it's an office building, they're employees at the office building, but there's also 3 maintenance guys that drive trucks and park there. Not every day, but are also, there's like 4 Deaconess Homes in that block, in that one block. So are you guys familiar with the Deaconess Homes that I'm speaking about? Okay. So there's 4 of them. So there's, I don't know how many workers in total with those 4 homes, plus visitors that come in and out, and workers, social workers, all kinds of people constantly on a daily basis coming in and out, parking. I literally leave my home to bring my son to school. I come back 10 minutes later, my parking spot's gone. I go to the grocery
Parking spot on the street?
on the street. But I live on a corner home. I pay extra money in taxes. I don't have a spot in the front of my house or on the side of the house. They take the front.
On the public street?
Yeah, it is a public street, but they take Prospect and they take High. They don't only take one street, they take both. I pay extra to have a corner home. I pay extra to live in the historic area also, because I live in the historic area. I am responsible for keeping the sidewalks clean in the wintertime, cleaning the snow, everything, clean everything off for them to go park there and everything. And I'm liable if they fall on my sidewalk. It's just very frustrating.
The issue there?
The issue is I pay like $7,000 just from my condo. And then the other condo, they pay like over $3,000. So altogether in our home, we pay close to $11,000 in taxes to the city, and we have no parking on the street. I just, I just want one spot in front or on the side of my home, and I don't have it. Only on the weekend, Monday through Friday, I don't have it. I go grocery shopping, I come back, I don't have a spot to unload my groceries. I have my son, he's 9 years old. Like, I'm lugging him with his backpack, my grocery, like, trying to find a spot to park and unload everything. It's just very, very frustrating. I feel like they converted that home in the middle of this whole residential area. They should provide, I'm not blaming, like, the workers, it's not their fault. It's the business. They need to find parking for their workers. They should have some kind of
I'm
parking.
gonna presume that there's no driveway that was provided there, right?
They have a small little driveway, and at the beginning, they didn't even utilize it. Now they park a couple of cars there in the driveway. Now they do. But it's just horrific. Between the 3 maintenance guys with their big trucks, all the workers, and then there's caseworkers and social workers and visitors that on a daily basis, it's just in and out, constantly.
What would you propose?
I mean, several things, like, they could, I mean, right down the street, there's like, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be like the nuns' home, like right on the corner. I don't know if you're familiar. There's a ton of land there. They could make, like, rent parking there, maybe make some parking there. I don't know if that's still the nuns' home or not. Also, they have a yard right there, right on the corner of Prospect and High, across from, like, my house. They could make a small parking lot right there on their yard. Enough parking probably for like 10 cars. Get some cars off the road. Right there in front of my house, there's accidents, I'm sure you guys know, on the corner of Prospect and High. Once a month, probably.
There's about 4,000 crashes in the city a year.
I know, tons, but like that corner right there, all the time, just because there's cars parked on both sides of the street all the time, there's so much, it's awful over there, it's just awful.
When you say crashes, is your concern that it's a stop sign, or?
No.
That's something we can control as far as, and I don't want to speak for the board.
No,
Everybody
there
has
is
their
a-
own
there
opinion.
is a
I don't
stop.
think there's much we can do as far as public street parking. I'm not exactly the process that was used to approve a multi-office.
We never got
building
notified,
that was there.
there was never a hearing or anything, they just converted it, we didn't.
I just can't think of anything unless someone else can that.
You
that-
can't give
The
us
only
like
one- Are
residents.
you the only one complaining?
No,
Then why
no.
don't you start a petition? Then they
Okay.
can serve it to the landlord, whoever owns the property.
I will start that. I called somebody at the and they told me to come to the
Sure.
meeting, but that's what I was gonna do, and they
Yeah,
said, come
start a
to the
petition.
meeting.
That's what I would do, and then get a hold of whoever owns the property.
But like, you can't issue us like residential, like a resident sticker or
It's beyond
something?
us, man.
And you
That's
Not
bring
on
it
a
to
public street.
ordinances?
What you could do is
What
like
would you
Helen
bring it
said,
to?
is
Ordinances,
get some
right?
of your residents together,
Mm-hmm.
and have them
That
sign a
complaint.
petition. And, you know, you
Bring
need
it to the city hall.
Voice your concerns that, you know, during the day, 9 to 5, they're taking up all the parking
As
in
long
the
as they
neighborhood.
legally park, there's nothing we can do.
Maybe they can issue some residents, you know, parking. I know there are some cities and towns that do that for residential areas, you know, parking for residents only, or from a certain time.
That's
That's
never
currently not the case with us
Never
right now.
happened here.
That's what I would start a petition, try to get a hold of one of your city councils, maybe that probably lives in that neighborhood. And they'll bring it before one of the boards and bring the landlord to the table and see if they can solve it. It's tough. When there is no place, when there's no places to park, I feel for some of those people.
Parking,
Because I wake up in the morning, I find different cars in my yard.
it's wide open. And playing devil's advocate, they could say, hey, listen, why don't you go park where the nuns used to park? Right? And it goes the other way as well, so.
Yeah, but then I'm sure they're not paying as much taxes as I am.
No, I mean, I don't disagree with that, and I'm just, you know, I understand, I empathize with you for sure. Yes, sir.
What about, is it business zones, can, you know, I mean,
I mean, if
it
it was
it is used as a business.
If
If
it
it's
was
not
approved,
business zone,
that's beyond us.
like I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, clean the snow, if somebody gets there at 8 o'clock in the morning, you have 10 different people that know that live there, they get
Right.
hurt, I'm responsible for it.
Right,
And why
well,
doesn't the city
snow
just-
removal and that stuff is
No.
all within reason in front of your property, and every property owner is responsible for the curtilage of their.
I understand, but it's not business zone, or is it?
Right. I
The
don't know.
business that
But
works,
you guys gotta know, it's not business zone. I know it isn't, so you guys gotta know
all
that
those
too.
trucks that come in front of your house,
Was it trucks that are working in that building?
It's from them, it's them.
Yes, it's
from the building.
there's three maintenance
they
guys that
mainstream it to the
have,
building.
that they have their trucks and they come, they're in and out, like maintenance
Somebody
guys.
should get a hold of them and talk to them.
And then they have like a dairy truck that comes and delivers milk early in the morning and,
Honestly, it sounds more like this is outside the scope of just
Yeah.
parking thing. It sounds like it's gonna be some sort of variance thing or licensing issue that's gonna have to be brought up to the city council, like was already
City council.
suggested,
Yeah.
with a council member. Like the other board members have already said, I completely can sympathize and empathize with what you got going on there. But really, all it comes down to as far as traffic enforcement can go, public way, those spots are open for anybody, you know, just as he was mentioning before, when it comes to snow removal, you get up at whatever time in the morning, dig out your car, you run to the store to go grab some milk, and somebody else is parked in it. There's no enforcement action because it is a public way. Again, like I said, it sounds more of a variance or a licensing issue if it is a business.
how about when they're blocking my driveway and stuff
That
like
is
that?
something, give us a
You
call
have a
and that gets
driveway?
taken care of right
I
away.
have a driveway, yes. So there are times, I haven't called the police, but they block half of my driveway.
That's when you call the police.
Like, yeah, it's a nuisance. It's like, it's out of control.
You can call the parking enforcement,
Yeah.
or you can call the police department.
Absolutely, and I would suggest you start, I mean, I know it's a headache and you're probably trying to play nice not doing that. Maybe it's time to go ahead and start getting those calls placed and, you know, either traffic enforcement unit or regular patrol officers will start going by and issuing tickets.
All right,
Get your neighbors active with you.
okay. So,
Power and numbers.
okay. How do I get the petition going? Do I get a form online? How does that
City
work?
Clerk's
If
Department.
you went to the clerk's office and asked for Allison Bouchard and tell her your problem, she will help you.
Okay, Allison Bouchard,
There you
City
go.
Clerk.
Yeah, there, that's what we need. We just need help because we call.
Yep,
and
she'll help
nobody
you.
answers.
Okay.
I mean, we are paying more than double for the same house. If you guys look at the two houses on the side of us, we pay double, more than double. I mean, you know, we can't even park on the street. It's you know, the business is pretty much taken over.
But remember, you do have a driveway, right?
We have a driveway, but it's us and someone else that we
Right.
can't take over the driveway
Right.
because they need to go in and out. We need to, you know, like,
Just,
It's a shared driveway.
it's a shared driveway.
Right.
Like, yeah.
That petition going.
that's the best thing is like what Helen had.
Can someone write her name down on a paper, because I know I'm gonna forget. Perfect, thank you. All right, I appreciate you hearing me
Very
out.
much.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anyone else for citizen input? Seeing none. Okay, first on the agenda would be the location of curb removal. 236 Fieldstone Lane. That would be this. Tommy, 31.5. Okay. 236 Fieldstone Lane, the engineer department reviewed the application as well as the location and found no issues. There are no objections to the request for a curb cut per city engineer.
Motion approved.
Seconded.
Second.
Any nays? Hearing none. Tabled handicap request from last meeting of March 15th, 694 King Philip Street. That resident here. 694 King Philip Street.
I'll make a motion to deny.
Motion to deny.
Second.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion passed.
That's the second one.
Deny.
That's the second time, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, request for handicap spaces.
King Philip Street.
First one we have here is 42 Platt Street.
I'm here for the
Hello.
owners. Hi, my name is Yvonne Cordero. I came
King
here
Philip.
yesterday to see if I could come for them because it's my cousins. And he actually passed away yesterday.
Oh,
He had Parkinson's, but he
I'm
also,
sorry.
thank you. He also has 2 daughters that have handicapped placards. So I was wondering if you could just, if it was going to be approved, if it could still.
Okay, they currently live at that address?
Yes.
And they're both
Yes, they
handicapped
have
placard
copies
holders?
of their placards. Yes.
First of all, I'm
You want to see the
sorry for your
placards?
loss.
Thank you. I didn't expect it so soon, but there's a blessing in a way.
have them, if they're minors,
I'm sorry?
if they're not minors, they need to file an application. And then
You
we
have to go through that again?
Well, his name is on the application, you can't just fill the name. Sorry, we just can't do it
I
like
should
that.
have kept my mouth shut,
No.
maybe.
No,
Oh, shoot.
I won't.
So the guy applying died?
Yeah.
The applicant has passed.
She won.
I guess
So what do we,
It's not, it doesn't have his name on,
it's the kids, I guess.
Yeah, but
This
everything
is
we
the
have is
driveway.
for
Kids have
Gil
that?
Sargent, so we need,
Ma'am, I can tell you briefly, when we first looked at this, okay, officers went by to validate the property. This property would be, it looks like would be granted a handicapped space, okay? I understand there is a driveway, but it's really small and isn't applicable to utilize. I understand this is somewhat of an inconvenience for them to have to fill out the application again, but hopefully, go through that process, they're gonna end up getting that space.
all right, thank you. Yes, one of the reasons was at the time, the daughters didn't have a car and it was mainly for the car.
Sure.
I could go, but, okay.
Again, sorry for your loss, and I understand, slight inconvenience, but if you,
How
they do
long-
want to go through the process,
We will do, but how long does it take usually for the
Next month if she does it.
yeah,
We
if
do
you
it-
can have this in before our next meeting, for next month, it'll be on the agenda, or you can show up, or they can show up and request it. We've already done the homework on it. It shouldn't be a problem, it should get,
Because it's underneath his name, not their name. You did the right thing though, coming down, so,
all right, thank you.
thank you.
We're gonna mark this on hold,
Yeah.
on hold.
That's the,
So,
that-
do we rescind this?
Yeah, that's gonna be a motion to deny.
Motion, I will make a motion to deny.
and I'll
Second.
Charlie's.
any nays? Seeing none, motion passed. Request 212 Globe Street. 212 Globe Street. Applicant drives without handicap plate, no off-street parking.
So it says here you have a living caretaker, man? Okay. So do you drive? You don't drive at all?
I used to, in California, they took my license away. I had a seizure.
But you have a vehicle registered in your name?
No, full finance to my
Number two.
car.
That's it.
I did go by that location, there is a handicap sign there.
The gentleman that, he took it over, because
I don't understand what do you mean you took it over?
I had to get change my ID to Massachusetts. So by the time I did that, he's handicapped. The whole house is handicapped except for one person, 2 people actually. It's a fight for a parking space, and
You also have a placard though, is that correct?
I have a placard.
So you could legitimately park a car, right?
He told me no,
Why?
because he said it belongs to him
It
now.
does not belong to him, absolutely no.
Okay, but his son is also handicapped,
Right.
and
Guess
his
what,
son
he gets there
has.
first. As long as there's a placard on there, it's
He's
that.
not gonna let me park there.
It's a city street, am I wrong?
My son who was my caretaker prior to that, had to fight a neighbor over, because the people are fighting over, because of the bakery, the workers park their trucks, park their cars. We, people who have medical problems, I've been waiting a year for this.
Can I ask you this, there's a very large lot in the back of those properties there.
We are not allowed to park there. That landlord will not let us utilize that yard or that driveway. And I do not, and I've been afraid to park there because of one of their tenants who's threatened me with a gun.
What?
So, I already called the housing court. Joe Camara,
All right,
who's
so
city
we're
council,
wading out into
related.
it, we're going out into a pond that we're not.
Okay, I have a
ready for.
disability.
I know what you're talking about, though.
I've been waiting a year. I finally switched over to Massachusetts. I'd like to park in front of my house.
Yep.
I can't breathe. I have a lot of medical issues.
I was just asking, do you drive, is the car registered to you, or do you have a plaque? That's-
I have a
those
plaque
were
and
my
it's in
couple
his
of
name.
questions.
Placket is in his name. Did you say the placket is in his name?
My name,
Oh, okay.
the car,
But you don't drive and you don't have a car.
no, he drives the car. I just wanna. Oh,
12 Globe Street, there is one in place. I believe it's 210 was registered. We just heard from the citizen at 212. We have a motion to accept or deny.
So he has a placket, correct?
I have a placard.
And I'm her caretaker.
He's my
And
caretaker.
she can't walk long distances.
I'm in kidney failure, COPD.
That's all right, that's your business, it's okay, that's, no.
Thank you.
But he can't park there.
Right.
He can't park there with your placket.
That car was in my name. He's just registered. I own the car.
I'm not gonna argue over it. You
I've
can't
been
find
waiting
out.
a
You
year.
can't
So
find out.
I think traditionally the board, at least since I've been on it, it's, I mean, if the caretaker were parked, let's say a block
He
away,
lives with me.
let me please finish, man. Traditionally, what the board has done, and again, I'm only one person here, but what we've done is, if a person lives a block away, and they need to pick somebody up, they can go to their car and park directly in front of that house and say, let's go, you don't have to walk very far. It's what we've done. I mean, basically what it comes down to is you'd be getting the placket for his car. Would I be wrong to presume that?
Plaque would be because she wouldn't have to walk
I
very
understand.
far.
That's why she has one issued, sir, and we're not denying that, and she's well within her right to have one issued to her. But what he's trying to explain, correct me if I'm wrong, is for the handicap parking assignments, typically the criteria are a few things, okay? One of them being the handicapped assigned placard individual has a vehicle registered to them and a license to operate said vehicle, which is why they have the handicap placard and they need that parking space for their vehicle, okay? It's just a very baseline, check the box criteria is what we've used. So that's what the baseline is. In this scenario, right off the bat, we don't have that because she's already stated she does not drive, nor does she have a vehicle registered. I understand what you said as far as the vehicle's registered to you, even though she purchased it or whatever. I completely understand. But like I said before, just the very check the box initial things that we assess, right? Does the handicapped individual drive and do they have a car in their own name? Which is why there is a need for said parking space. Like Officer Farris had mentioned before, in a situation like this, typically what the board has looked at would be if you were parked 10 spaces up the road and she did have to step out, obviously we wouldn't say, oh, well, she's got to go for a nice long walk, which she couldn't do in her condition. At that point, you would have to swing around the block right in front of the house so she could have that short walk as if she was parked there. But to have the car parked there overnight and she's not the one that's coming and going for her own driving purposes.
I'm always fine.
She's always with me wherever we go. It's the two of us.
Understood. Like I said, I was just explaining the
No, I
the
understand what
normal
you're saying,
criteria
and I
we look at.
discussed something about saying something about 210. I don't know if you can work a deal out with that.
I'm sorry?
Instead of putting it under 212, you mentioned something about putting it under 210. I kind of overheard you say.
There's a handicap.
Yeah, there is a
spot already
handicap
there.
spot over in that area, and I think,
No,
I
it's
may
not
have
for
mis-
210, 210 is not handicap.
Understood, I may have misspoken as far as what the residence is, but there is one in that location already, 210, 212, that's what I was referring to. A parking space is already assigned
To Ronald
for that
Howard.
area. Again, ma'am, I understand, let me just
I'm
clarify
just
that.
upset, I've been waiting
Sure.
a year.
I understand.
You don't know what I've gone through, you don't know the fights that I've been antagonized over a parking space. And I'm handicapped, okay? I'm disabled. I can't even see your faces, okay? I can't breathe half of the time. I don't care who knows what my conditions are. Joe Camara is my relative. Should I call him and say, hey, can you help me out here? I mean, come on. All I'm asking for is one pole to be right on the side of the person that didn't live there prior, and I was parking there with my California parking placard that expires in June of this year. But I went and got my Massachusetts one, so I can park.
Understood.
So it's being denied.
I'm going to find out right now, we're going to do a quick roll call on, and
You
you'll
just
have your
said
answer
yes.
very shortly. Motion on 212?
Motion to deny.
Motion to deny?
Deny.
All in favor?
Aye.
Deny. Okay, number 3, 144 Crawford Street. Hello. Buzz
You
Drive.
from Crawford Street?
No off-street parking.
That's all, just raise your hand so we know you're here. They're here, she's here.
Have anything down on this one?
There was a handicap spot in front of that house as well?
Yeah, that's for the woman on third floor.
Another resident, you said?
Yeah, she's on third floor on my backside of the house. She definitely needs it.
You're licensed,
Yes,
you have a placard,
yes,
you have a car.
yes.
Motion regarding 144 Crawford Street.
Motion to approve.
Second on the motion to approve.
Any nays? Seeing none. Approved?
Thank you.
So
All
the
set.
only other thing
You're
with
okay.
this is that, and you kind of heard a little bit over here, when that spot goes up, and this is for anybody else,
Oh, yeah, I
it's
understand.
not your spot.
And I understand
It's
that.
for anyone who has a placard. At
I
any
understand.
time, as
I'm
long
not,
as it's a valid placard, anyone can park there.
I understand, because the girl that used to live on first floor would go to every door, my door, and ask if that was my company parked in her spot, because she came down here and got it. But it's for the public, so I understand that. I'm grateful for anything.
Steph, do you want to give the,
But if somebody continues to park there all the time, then tell them to go through the process that you did. Am I right?
Yeah, I really don't want to argue with people. I'm
Okay.
so glad I have what I have.
That's all. Just call Laura, call the traffic department, and they'll take care of it.
one more thing, ma'am, and this is for anyone else who's here for the placard. Basically, what's gonna happen is, there are gonna be some public city workers who are going to go out there, they're gonna measure, they're gonna check the best location to put that on, it'd probably be on the east side of Crawford Street. And they may just very well put one sign up, and that will create 2 spots. So that'll happen in about a month or so, possibly longer, depending on
That's
how
fine.
backed up they are, but
Don't hold your
that's,
breath.
that's about the timetable.
That's perfect.
Okay,
Thank you so much for
you
your
got
time.
it.
Don't hold your breath, I've been waiting 7 months.
Next one will be 411 4th Street.
Present.
Is that him? That you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he's here.
No large driveway there that you can't park in, right?
Well, I own the parking lot behind that building, but the building is sideways.
Yep, I see it, right.
So you see the narrow,
Awkward way to put a
you'd
building.
have to have a tiny car or a bicycle to get back.
Yeah, no, that's very narrow.
And the parking lot in front of my home is owned by 415.
So somebody else.
So right now, there's a vacant parking there, so I'm allowed to park in that spot until the tenant.
Until they fill it, then you're out.
Oh, yeah. I have a motion on 411 4th Street.
He can't park in the driveway?
He was just saying it's narrow.
Yeah, you
Wait,
can't get a
this is
vehicle back
another
there
one
unless
of
it's a small car. or-
That's another one of those extenuating circumstances where, I don't know, however they built the house in 1918 or whatever, 25.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, but,
They
yeah.
did it for a carriage.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
would second
There's no way
Charles'
for me to
motion
get
to
that.
approve.
Yep.
Second.
Third.
Fourth.
Right. Unanimous.
All in favor? Motion's approved.
What type of time frame am I?
And like he was just saying before, it really goes on to the next group from here, how backlogged they are. It could be within the month or it's gonna be outside. If it doesn't happen within the next 30 days, I would just follow up.
Yeah, we roughly say about 8 to 12 weeks from once our crew goes out there and starts with the measurements. So about 8 to 12 weeks.
Thank you.
Next, 885 Rock Street.
885,
Yes, 885 Rock.
yes.
This lady, oh, boy.
Valid placard.
The only thing I noticed there, sir, you have a very short driveway. Short driveway, but you do have a garage. What's up with the garage?
It's a little garage, it's not big enough for a car.
I think that would depend on the car.
Yes, I'm sure it would.
You probably fit a little better.
Volkswagen Beetle, maybe.
This is a single-family home,
Yes,
and that driveway is deep enough for your vehicle?
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm hearing impaired.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the photo of your house, sir, that's all.
Oh, you have a phone?
My comment, sir, was that your driveway is too short. Half of the car would be on the sidewalk.
That's
You'd
right,
end up getting a parking ticket from somebody.
correct.
I can guarantee that. Well, like I said, my concern is that you do have a garage.
Yeah, but you can't put a car in there.
Is it because it's being used as storage, or a regular-sized car wouldn't fit in that
A
garage?
regular-sized car wouldn't fit in there.
So you don't use it at all? You don't use it at all? You can't utilize it at all?
No, not for a car.
Is, do we know what he's driving?
This it?
Yeah, this is the garage and the driveway right there.
This car wouldn't be on the
SUV.
sidewalk. This car would be
You
right there.
can't,
Okay. All right.
This car wouldn't be on the
you can't
sidewalk.
park in front of the garage.
Right, yeah, even as the
Because
homeowner, you
I got a
can't,
ticket
you
for
can't
that
block your
one
own
time.
driveway, correct,
Car
yes.
was on the sidewalk.
Yeah. All right, as Tom said, there is a garage there, but any normal size, large, or medium SUV, as what this guy's owning at this point, isn't gonna fit in that garage,
Yeah.
and the driveway's too short, so, do I have a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Approve, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any nays?
Yeah, no.
All in favor? All right, approved, sir.
I'm all set,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
And it looks like last one. 199 Mason Street. Mr. Ryan, valid placard registration. Mr. Ryan. Maybe it's you, last try.
You can't use the driveway there?
The landlord doesn't allow me.
Doesn't allow it.
I can't cheap park in the driveway.
See any issues with this one? No? All right, there's the driveway, not available to the tenants. Does anybody have any questions on this one? Motion?
Motion to deny. Got a driveway. No, shouldn't be driving if he's having trouble having his eyesight.
No, that was, you're talking about the other guy.
We're on to this.
Right here.
Mason Street.
The driveway, good eyesight.
Mason Street.
Having trouble with his eyesight.
Mason Street.
All right, do I have a motion on this one?
Motion to, yes.
Motion to approve, is there a
Second
second?
to approve.
Any nays?
I don't. Me.
One. Okay, motion's passed. All set, folks.
I drive with my eyes closed. You're gonna turn on your water. They're all set. Just up there. No, they're going this week.
Yeah, but the other one, I think you're talking about this one.
What out, oh, what's the one? He's having trouble with his eyesight.
All right, that handles
Well, you
the
can't park in the driveway.
handicap spots. Moving on is the
You approved it.
request for a stop sign. Traffic Department received a letter in regards to the area of Almond and Ferry. Request was to have a look at the intersection for a stop sign. Suggestion is to have a stop sign on Almond for traffic heading north. Concern a safety issue that individuals are having their vehicles that are exiting from the marina and not stopping. Please review the map. That is this picture that was provided. All right, Tommy went out there, he put all the legwork in, so.
I did, I went out to that location. It does get quite busy during the summer hours. Ferry Street runs east and west, and Almond Street runs north and south. Upon approaching the Almond Street intersection at Ferry Street, there is, it's a corner that makes it very difficult to see. So my recommendation would be a stop sign on Almond Street for traffic northbound. But I don't know if it's possible, but the caveat would be if the property owner of the Tipsy could put a stop sign at their exit onto Ferry/Almond Street. I think that may alleviate any issues they may have. Even though prima facie you have to use due care exiting and entering your driveway, that may just be a little extra thing, because I can only presume it might be their recommendation for the stop sign.
I would agree with both Tom's suggestions. That's particularly coming down Almond right there.
Yeah.
With, when the traffic's heavy, and particularly with a truck coming down Almond, they tend to swerve out to the left
Yeah.
to make that turn. And they get, that's where the pinch
It's a tough
point
one.
is. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I
And-
drive it often,
yeah.
and it is.
But,
And that tree, if they
good
could
spot.
trim that, because that kind of hides the cars going that way. 'Cause my
Right.
friend lives on Bay Street, and every time I go to pick her up, so we go shopping,
Right.
at least every other week, twice sometimes.
And now the tree will stop blooming.
Yeah, so now it's gonna be correct, so maybe they can make it look pretty.
I don't know, I'm not sure who authored that letter. I don't know if it was the property owner of Tipsy, or, I don't know how we, maybe, Steph, you have an idea of how do we reach out to Tipsy and say if, you know.
I guess we could send it from traffic and
Yeah.
request that it was
request a
brought to
stop sign
us,
that
yeah.
We could even provide it.
Just as a suggestion.
Yeah, I mean.
To the
it's-
property
it's
owner?
their property.
Right.
If they authored the letter, though, I think they could at least go the other half and say, hey, we'll help make the area safer.
Okay.
Maybe something like this.
And make the trade look pretty.
It's the worst thing, yes.
Maybe you say yes.
Mm. All right, motion to approve stop sign on Almond at Ferry.
Yep, motion to approve.
Second.
Any nays? Seeing none, motion passes. We're going to add the, traffic's gonna reach out as far as
Yes,
the
yep,
property
we'll send a
Tipsy.
letter to the Tipsy.
Okay, finally, rescinding of handicap spots. Request for the traffic department to have the following handicap spaces rescinded due to the individual no longer utilizing the space because they have either moved, no longer drive, or have passed away. This is the Bogle Street handicap placard. Motion on this.
I make a motion to rescind.
Rescind, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, any nays? Seeing none, motion's passed. Okay, next I'm being told is roll call. Final roll call.
Present? Denby?
Helen Rigo,
Natalie Mello,
Stephanie MacArthur.
Thomas Farris.
At the end,
And
supposed to be
Sergeant
the
Louis
beginning.
Navarro.
Supposed to be the beginning.
And a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All right, that's a successful meeting, we all made out with our skin.
All right.